Hi, and welcome to another video from me on Thermomix and cooking made easy. Today I'm going to cook a creamy tomato soup, very much along the lines of the Heinz tin tomato soup, but it's our Cookie Do platform one, and obviously we're using all our fresh ingredients here. I have quite a few tomatoes where I hadn't been able to get chopped tomatoes, so I'd bought fresh tomatoes to use instead, and they now need to be used up because they're getting nice and ripe, so they'll be great for a creamy tomato soup. So that's what we're going to make today. Right, if we could just look at the screen. I'm going to go into my week where I plan to cook the tomato soup, and as you can see here on the screen, creamy tomato soup cooked today. So I'm going to press that and we're going to start cooking. Okay, I'm going to take off my aroma tray and dish, take out my lid, steaming basket, and place my measuring cup here into that lid ready to use. So our first instruction on the screen is to place 1 garlic clove. So I have just prepared all these ingredients here ready for us to use. So 1 garlic clove's going in, and I'm going to press next. 50 grams of onions in half, so I've just used 1 onion. I don't worry if it goes over 84 grams, it doesn't matter. I'd rather that than have a bit of onion left over. And then I'm going to add in the measuring cup into the lid as I have done, and place on there ready to just chop these up. We can see I'm going for 3 seconds and I'm going to a speed of 5. We can just see the little line there turning round so we can chop those onions and garlic. Okay, and next. So it tells me now to scrape down the sides of the mixing bowl with a spatula, so just do that, then I'll show you our chopped onions. So it's 4 blades, 4 varying heights, so that makes sure that we get all the onion and garlic chopped up nicely. And if we remember, the blades are sharp on one side. Ooh, they are very strong. There we go. If I could just show you those. So that went in basically 2 halves of an onion and the garlic, and as you can see it's now all nicely chopped up. Make my eyes water at the same time. Whoa, how strong. Right, next we're going to put in 30 grams of butter or olive oil, so it's your choice what you prefer to use. I've got butter on this occasion, so I'm putting in my butter in there. So actually I've got 40 grams, let's just take a piece out. Go take that piece there, there we go, super. Okay, putting that lid back on, we're just now going to saute those onions, garlic and the butter. So we're looking at the screen here. We're going for 3 minutes. We're now going to bring in the cooking time, so we're going to take it up to 120 degrees and we're going for a speed of just 1. Just set that off. Now what you will see here on the screen is that temperature will start to rise up. So when it tells you the temperature that you're going to, but above it will also show you the temperature as it starts to heat up, so you can see as we're going the temperature rising, which is very useful when you're doing recipes when you have to add certain ingredients, like in baking, like chocolate, in at a certain point when the bowl is at a certain temperature. So we can see here that when the timer has finished, it always gives you another 8 seconds for cooling down. Next, okay, let's remove that lid. It smells lovely because we're in that lovely butter. You can just see in there the onions and garlic all sautéed in that butter. Right, so the next thing we're going to do is add in our tomatoes that I chopped earlier. So preparation for this recipe is about 10 minutes. So I'll just put those in. Oops. Now I'm going to have a bit more than that because I literally had one odd tomato left. I think 1.5 tomatoes left above the weight. So personally, rather than waste it, I just put that aside. So rather than waste it, I've just put in, so I've actually got 880 and the recipe wanted 700. But it's tomato soup, so that's fine. It's my recipe, my cooking, how I'm going to be eating it, so I'm quite happy with it being over rather than ripe tomato just sitting on its own. Okay, 70 grams of tomato puree. Let's just squeeze that in. Reset there. Okay, and we'll squeeze in. Always have a lot of muscles to get this tomato puree out. We're up to 35. Fine. Oh, that butter smells lovely. Okay, we're nearly there. 70, that's fine. And next we have a teaspoon of salt, we have a teaspoon of sugar, and we have a teaspoon of dried oregano or pizza herb mix, whichever you have. So I've already got that here. I'm just going to sprinkle that in. And then insert measuring cup and lid. And we're just going to chop all of that up together. 5 seconds, and I'm going to speed, just clear that there, of 5. So again, if you've got fresh tomatoes there, you can obviously make your own chopped tomatoes just using this. So I'll just show you how that's gone up there. Just take that off the lid. And let's mix that all up. So that's just 5 seconds, and you can see there, hopefully in that tomato is all chopped up in amongst the onion and the garlic. In amongst the onion and garlic. So next, we're going to put in 500 grams of water. Okay. So nice and slowly pouring in, carefully not to there. If you look on the screen, you see I knock the jug, it sends the calibration out on the scales of what I'm weighing. So always make sure you're not touching your bowl. Okay, 500 grams. Oh, that's fine. 1 stock cube, or you can make your own stock in here and use it up in the Thermomix and then use that, store it in the freezer in quantities to use. Insert mixing bowl lid. Okay, and this is where we're now going to just cook the soup here. So if we look at the screen, I'm going to go for 15 minutes, going to a temperature of 100 degrees, and we're going to a speed there of 2. So using the blade, it will still slightly chop that up and cook that soup at the same time. And you can see lastly on step 19 out of 25 of our creamy tomato soup. So we're now into that last 5 seconds with the 8 seconds cooling down. And that soup's finished there cooking. Press next. Okay, so we're going to add in 100 grams of cream. Now obviously with all the Cookie Do recipes, they are adjusted all into grams, or you can change it into imperial metric measurements, whichever you like. So even though we're using liquids, we are still using grams because it's been converted. So we're going to put that in, it's bubbling away in there. So put some in this pot here, use. Up. some in here as well. So we're at 29. Now cream can be substituted for creme fraiche or for sour cream, whichever you want to use, a low fat type cream. There we go, and that's 100 grams. Cream there, and press next. And we're going to add 2 to 4 of fresh basil leaves that we have here, and also some fresh parsley leaves as well. So I've already prepared those to go in. Okay, let's put those there. And we're going to just blend that all together. So that's all the tomato soup that's cooked with the cream and the basil. So just for 1 minute, we're turning that to that speed 4 there. You see it says it's blending, and we basically just need to increase the speed gradually to a speed of 8 as the time goes down. So just take that slightly round. It goes up in half-minute increments. Press next and serve warm. Okay, so I'm just going to get the jug to show you. Just take that off. There we go. Pour that in there. And there we have our creamy tomato soup. So if I just put it in a bowl here. Hopefully you can just about see that. If I hold it from a distance, we can just see that soup on there. Okay, thank you. That's our creamy tomato soup. As you can see, the soup's very easy. 10-minute preparation time, total cooking time 25 minutes, serving around 4 portions. So lots of different soup recipes and collections on the cookie do that we can make things very quickly. Soups, plus we can steam other things while we're cooking soups because of the steam that comes up from the soup while it's cooking. So I hope you enjoyed that. I'm back for another one soon. Thank you. Bye.